Okay, let's talk today about how to create a tri-fold brochure for a project in class. There are lots of different tools that we have in the Google apps that we could use to create a tri-fold brochure. The most obvious might seem like Google Docs, and that can be used. But one of my favorite tools is Slides because Slides offers so many options, inserting text boxes, shapes, images, all the things that you need to build a really dynamic trifold brochure for whatever you're trying to present. So today we're going to take a look at this template, and you will receive this template as part of your project that you will be assigned. And this is the basis that you will use to create the brochure for this assignment. Now, if we're thinking about a typical brochure, this is going to be our front cover, what's going to be on the front. This will be the back cover. Okay, and this is what's going to fold in and will be that inner flap. Okay, so really the second page. On the second slide, we'll actually have all the inside, the part that you would open up, what's on the inside of your brochure. So the inside left, the center on the inside, and then the right side. Okay, so what does this look like in an actual Google slide? Well, it looks like this. Okay, let's zoom in just a little bit closer so we can take a better look here. Okay, now the thing again that I love about Google Slides, if we're starting with our front cover here, and I just inserted an image as if I was doing, maybe a brochure on adopting a pet or something like that, is again that you can insert all sorts of things. Okay, so for example, of course, you can do a text box. As I mentioned below in the instructions, that you can come up here in the menu, you can change it to any sort of font, whether you're looking for a very serious font or maybe a more fun font. You can change the size of the font and you can change the color of the font. Okay, so whatever it is that you're writing about, you can change that depending on the mood that you want to set, serious or fun, anything like that. You may or may not know this, but you can actually add fonts under the More Fonts section. You have some sample ones. You have different types over here that are already fonts you've added, and you can change it from fonts that represent handwriting, just more fonts that are more appropriate for display. So that might be good if you're doing a informative brochure, but just kind of keep that in mind, whatever the mood is of the information you're trying to present. So again, you can change the color, the thickness. You can also, if you select the text of the font and right click on it, if you go to format options, there's where you can add something called a drop shadow, which is this kind of 3D looking background. So again, you would highlight it, right click, go to the format options. There you can change things like drop shadow and reflection. Okay. All right. So we've talked about adding text. I want to also emphasize right next to text boxes that you can insert images, and you have lots of choices here. You can upload it if you have files saved right there to your Chromebook. You can search the web for images that are already approved to be used, or you may have already created yourself a nice folder in Drive, and maybe you are saving pictures as you roll along for this project. You can insert them directly right there. If you go into Drive, remember there are some different tabs. There are your recent photos, so ones that you've recently added. You can go into My Drive and find a specific folder if you've created a folder for this project, or maybe you're sharing some pictures with your classmates. So make sure that you click on the appropriate tab if you're inserting from your Google Drive. So now what I want to do is go to search the web for images. So maybe you're just searching on the fly and you're looking for something like maybe college clip art. Okay, I always like to put clip art in if I'm not looking for actual photos. I just want kind of icons or images. So for example, selecting this first one right here, you just go down to the insert button and it will insert your photo. And of course that one's not there. So let's try it one more time. Okay. Let's do graduation art, okay? Okay, so maybe I'm going to use this image right here. And again, I'm going to click on Insert. Remember that these tabs on the side, the little buttons, allow you to not only change the size of your image, you can also go up top and crop your image. So maybe I just want this part. To be really careful about making sure that your cursor is right there, the up and down one. Okay, you can click on this image, go to Format Options again, and if you come right over here, you can change the color of it. So maybe I want it to actually have a blue background for each side. You could do that, and it changes the color just a little bit. You can add a border if you want to your pictures that you're using in your brochure. And you can also crop it so that it is a specific shape. So maybe I want this to be kind of like a rounded rectangle. So I can do that as well. Or maybe I want this to be, that's under crop again, more like a circle. I can do that. Okay. So again, all of that is under Insert Images. Okay. All right, last thing that I want to highlight are shapes. So shapes can include things like arrows if you're doing like a process. So maybe in your brochure, you're showing a chart, a process of, your freshman year, you have to do this, then arrow over your sophomore year, you have to do this. So you can insert, of course, arrows to show a process. Same thing as images, you can fill it in with whatever color you would like. You can choose a border color and you can choose a border thickness depending on how you want your shape to look. Shapes and pictures, again, both have these dots all around them that can help you change the size to fit your needs. And also this dot up at the top will let you pivot your arrow in whatever shape or form you would like to. Another great way to use shapes is for your different sections of your brochure. So maybe you have different information you want to put in different sections. You can certainly do that. I'm just going to copy that, add one over here, and then also copy that again and add that over here. So then you just simply click in that box, choose whatever font you would like, whatever size you want it to be, and you are ready to talk about whatever it is that you would like to. Okay. So shapes, again, a wonderful way to give different sections to your brochure or make it stand out. Remember that you can also use the Align tab. So if you want it to be right justified, you can do that. I'm sorry, left justified, you can do that. If you want it to be centered, you can certainly do that. Other options are to underline, make it bold, etc. as you're going through. So whatever you need to emphasize, consider those options, okay? One last word on shapes is don't forget you can fill those in. Obviously, this is gray, or you could fill it in with just white. And again, I know I keep saying this, but you can choose your border size if you would like to. Okay. So I have just, when you get the template, you'll see just some kind of sample things, a title of the project, a sample image. I do have the front cover, back cover, inner flap. And then on the second page, the inside left, the inside middle, and the inside right labeled. Please make sure you delete those when you are ready to submit your final project. Also, one last thing that we need to talk about before we end today, and that is how to print your project. Okay. All right. Now let's talk about printing. And you can see right here that, see if I can move me over just a little bit, that I actually have the brochure that's on your screen. Okay. And so once you print it up, you want it to print back and front where you can fold this guy. So this is your front cover. Okay. I'm folding it down. Here's your inside that you can see there, the little doggies. Okay. Oop. And now I'm going to fold that one in. So you want it, it's very important that you print it so that it prints the correct way. There are instructions right here, but I'm going to walk you through them really quickly so that if you have questions, you have a place to respond back to or to refer back to. When and if you're ready to print, you would simply go to File, go to Print. It's going to give you a preview at this point, and you will need to choose underneath See More. Probably most of you are going to have Save as PDF right here as your destination. Go to See More. We have two printers in the Media Center. One is 50 cents a copy, so it'd be $1 for your brochure to print it up because it's two sides. And one's 10 cents a copy. That's the black and white. And it will be 20 cents because it'll be back and front. So the color printer is this one right here, Media 02. Okay. The black and white printer, it actually looks a little bit different for you guys. It won't say Media 01. It'll say the Media Center B/W printer. So if you want the black and white printer, look for the Media Center B/W printer. Once you've chosen the printer you would like to send it to, a couple of more important steps. First thing is for scale. Go ahead and set it to fit to printable area. That'll make sure that nothing on your brochure is going to print outside of this area. The second thing, and this is really important, is make sure that you have the two-sided print on both sides box checked. Last step is make sure that it is flipped on the short edge. That's going to make sure that it prints back and front the correct way. So again, flip on the short edge. Once you've done all that, you're ready to print and ready to go. If you have any questions, let me know or let your teacher know. Thank you so much.